Join the savage tribe. New takes weekly, unfiltered and raw. Isaac's voice, the memer's law.
The golden age of America begins right now.
Let's go. Alrighty, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Golden Age podcast. We're on episode 35. Great to see everybody in the chat, but before we get to the chat, Cornboy, as always, how are you doing?
Excellent, man. Riding high off a win on last Wednesday's Mario Kart, and
Heck yeah.
hopefully they play again this week, but you never know, but we'll see.
I heard the folks over at
Hopefully it'll be a
GNG,
good
I hop on the stream, listen, and they're like, F you, Cornboy, pushing me off the track. It's funny, so you give them a hard time. But speaking of the GNG community as a whole, Cole Hauser, praise our good to see you, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to be here. It's been another great week.
Yeah, that it has. We'll be breaking it down. Lots of news this week. And Ronan, first time showing your face on the channel. You've been on the channel before, but
yes, I
in
have.
the flesh, how you doing?
I am now a full-on flesh tuber, as some of us weebs likes to say, just to differentiate from the VTubers. But yes, hello everybody. Y'all know who I am. I'm Ronan the Crusader. And it's quite an honor being here on the Golden Age podcast again.
It's an honor to have you, dude. Thank you. And we'll be getting your opinion on things. We like to refer to Ronan as our illegal immigrant sometimes. It's okay, you know. But we shall see. You guys heard Zoran Mamdani won the New York City election.
Yeah.
He's a radical left Muslim, which is kind of weird because they're kind of very strict about certain things, but
Yes,
we'll be getting into that as well.
in their own countries, it would seem.
Yes. So in the chat, we have Nishi. Now, Nishi sent me this video of an undercover, totally not AI, clip from a gentleman's club in New York. So they have updated for the recent election. I'm going to full screen this. New York gentlemen's clubs are about to get wild. Let's check it out. Let's see if YouTube allows it.
What
is his place?
Totally not AI. Totally real footage. I think that was James O'Keefe that got that. What do you guys think?
I'm surprised James O'Keefe was okay with wearing a hijab to get in there. That's okay. That's surprising.
That's the surprising part. Yeah, it was more than just glasses this time. Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, New York's going to hell in a handbasket, it would seem, quite literally. You know, for the city that says never forget, they seem to have forgotten.
Oh, man, I mean, being like a close resident to New York, because I live in New Jersey myself, obviously,
Right.
so we have a lot of our own residents here commuting to New York to the actual city itself for work. Like, I'm not entirely surprised that they ended up voting in Zoran Mamdani. Like, it seems as though the tri-state area ends up becoming a Democrat stronghold. Unfortunately, it always tends to stay blue most of the time. Now, recently, with like the last presidential election, yeah, we saw that Jersey was slowly starting to turn a little bit red.
Yeah.
Not to dock myself a bit, but like the county I happen to live in is actually getting more red than it has been the past couple of years. We're seeing that occur. But when it comes to the local elections, state elections, I've heard a lot of people say that unless Trump's on the ballot, people don't really go out.
That's the big problem.
So I guess that's actually the issue.
Well, Republicans don't get out for local elections enough.
The issue I saw is that this governor's race this year had some sort of Biden bump. They had the most votes for governor ever, it looked like.
That's what I was also hearing as
like
well.
3 million more votes than ever before. Or
Was it at 3 a.m. by
300,000
any
more
chance?
votes
I mean,
before,
I decided to, sneak away to see the closest ballot section just to see what was occurring. Yeah, let's just say it could have been a 3 a.m. Surprise drop off. Who knows? But
Yeah.
Well,
Any interesting trucks or water pipes? Yeah.
and I wasn't surprised too when it came to the blue states. We know they're going to try to manipulate as much as they can, even though there is the
Absolutely.
process of trying to change the election laws. But
Yep.
it is a big battle. It's a very huge big battle to climb.
It is. And now we see
Yeah.
California with their Proposition 50 redistricting and all the
Yeah.
weaponization of
Once it
voting
goes down that
districts.
road, it's very hard to get bring it back out.
right.
Yes.
But if I recall, for California, when they tried to do redistricting the first time, didn't the courts stop it?
I believe that was because the government did it themselves.
for
This
sure.
is a referendum this time.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It was a ballot proposition, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, guys. These blue states are getting worse and worse every year. Even the New York Giants updated their team mascots for the new mayor. This is
Their
pretty crazy to
cheerleaders
see.
are having a
In
hard
the
time.
United States of America. Just absolutely wild. The Islamic Revolution before our very eyes, guys.
It's not bad enough for Beardo that the Giants lost. Now the cheerleaders are also being, covered up as well too. Beardo's taking L's all around with the Giants, honestly.
A travesty. A travesty. He is
Losing
gonna
to the
be
Bears.
furious.
This is pretty sad this year.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan would have been happy.
He was.
Oh, I
Oh,
bet he would.
he's been happy since this morning.
And so Sal was saying they play in Jersey. Is that true?
Yeah, they do actually. There's a stadium over in Teterboro. That's usually where they play, just outside of the city.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, all that stuff's pretty close in the tri-state area. One more thing, though, and Ronan, you better look out for this. New Yorkers waking up today after the election of Zoran Mondani. Let's check that audio. This is, guys, this is our biggest city in the country. Better watch out. So, just be careful. If you live in one of these cities or states that's controlled by crazies, be very careful.
Well, Manhattan's like 15 minutes away from me, but I always got good old two-way protecting me. So, just in
That's
case
the way
it
to
ever
do it.
occurs, I give them a nice surprise.
Always be prepared 24/7. That's for
I hear they're already
sure.
blasting the call to prayer in several areas of the city too.
And they have their
Yeah.
they have their Sharia patrols too and
Yep.
stuff. The guys go out. It's madness.
So I have a lot of family in New York City where it just prompts me. I just don't feel like going. So
Yep.
because
Unfortunately.
even in February when I went to MegaCon, I don't know if much of you guys know, I took the train down.
Yeah, I think I
So-
remember you saying that.
Yeah, so one of the stops was New York City before I got on the next train to Orlando. And, I could have went and saw some family for the short stopover I had, but I had no interest of leaving the station. I
Yep.
was just like, it's just so dirty, just such a hellhole. It's like,
Yeah.
why bother? Like, I felt
just look
safe
out.
because there was National Guard inside the train station and everything, so I felt good.
Which is a crazy thing to think of. Like, it's so bad in these cities you have to have
Yeah.
National Guard stationed because
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
dangerous. Yeah.
I mean,
See, I wonder if they'll be able to change the rampant smell in the city from rotten milk to like some sort of curry smell, maybe, or like
Oh,
Calcutta.
that smells just part of the character of New York City. That's all that it is.
Yeah. It's
Well,
the
I'm-
spice.
I'm
Maybe they'll
glad
change
that
the spice.
I'm
White
glad
people
the
don't
last
season their
time-
streets. What?
I'm glad the last time I was there, like the city was, it was okay. I was there like maybe a couple months ago with family, so it was all right. Nothing really eventful occurred, but yeah, no, I ain't ever stepping near that city again.
No. The Big Apple is rotten indeed.
Like,
Too bad because it was once our capital and it's our biggest city in population. What were you going to say, Cole?
well, like my girlfriend, she was a first responder, and she
Oh, wow.
actually came from Canada to New York to help. So it's
Unfortunate
kind of
state
sad where
affairs.
things have
Sad that
come
they
and changed.
forgot.
Might as well
It
just
is.
call it the Big Falafel now. Honestly, you're not calling it the Big Apple.
Pretty much the big halal center of people.
Yeah.
Moving on. So my boy J. Rue one of the coolest memers on X. He's a mutual, pretty funny dude. He got reposted by Elon Musk. So what did J. Rue post? He posted we're going to be getting into this in a little bit, the Sydney Sweeney interview, which has piqued all of our interest, especially with the downfall of the mainstream media. But this was perfect. You meant happy holidays, right? And then Sydney just with the death stare, the glaring laser beam eyes. And it's so cool to see J. Rue, a guy who I've been seeing meme for quite a while now, get reposted by Elon. Pretty cool. You like to see people you kind of know, get some attention. It's pretty good stuff. But
43 million views. Wow.
yeah, pretty crazy. One more meme I wanted to show, a funny thing on X. Actually, I have to click in on it first so it doesn't spoil it. So, you see these windows in these high-rise buildings? What are they for? It's very bizarre. They go inward. It looks a little dangerous. And this guy said, for what reason? And this guy responded, that's the door to the transgender bathroom. That got a lot of views.
Be careful, 42% of them might fall for it.
Oh boy.
Yes, Cornboy, correct. Correct. So, moving on, speaking of harsh words, Owen Schroyer posted this. I think we can all relate to it in our own way. Owen Schroyer said, we grew up playing Halo 3 online. We don't care about mean words. Facts.
Oh,
Absolute
yes.
facts. Cole Hauser, we were talking about this before the stream. You know your fair share as well. We all do.
Yeah.
We're from that background, and mean words don't hurt us at all.
No.
It just bounces off. BB's off of Buick. So to these people that come in and are on X or whatever social media, I'm offended. Tough,
Stay
It's,
offended, keep crying, show them tears for us. We'll just drink them up and keep throwing
Exactly.
the Spurs.
Exactly. Yeah.
You
Never
know,
apologize.
when I played, it was funny because the gamer words, they go left, right, and center, and me, I'm either throwing them back or I'm
Yep.
dying laughing. I'm just
Yep.
cracking up.
Yep.
You get some people they just throw that one little spice word in, and it's just like, I'm on the floor. I've already lost the game because I'm already on the floor laughing so hard.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Well, that's part of it too. You can gain a real tactical advantage by messing with someone psychologically. With you drop the right slur at the right time, you win the game.
Hell,
if I can throw, sorry, go ahead.
no,
Ronan.
go ahead, Cole. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say the funniest one was, so it was because it was me and a whole bunch of friends, and it was like 10:30 on a Friday night playing, and a loud noise goes on, and it was one of our friends. His wife started vacuuming, but she did that in protest because he was playing, Modern Warfare 2.
Jesus.
And so he started yelling at her. He started yelling back at him. He's like, "What are you doing?" Well, you're playing this whatever game all night, so I'm
Right,
going to clean.
right.
So
May as
it was
well.
funny.
God, you gotta
That's
love that
funny.
when you're playing Modern Warfare 2. Like somebody has like a vacuum in the background. There's another player that's got a screaming baby or something like that. Another player's got some movie just playing in the background as well too.
Music right into the microphone with the smoke detector
my
chirping
God.
every single time too.
There's still people that do that when we play
Oh,
freaking
yeah.
Helldivers, honestly.
Yep.
But like with the whole mean words just sliding right on us, like I can say from experience, and these two as well can say from experience, because when we started playing Halo together, I started dropping just tactical, full-on
Yes.
N
Oh,
bombs
yes.
all over the place. It like
Yes.
I was just getting like sheer laughs from everybody most of the time. Hell, even I was laughing about it too because I was like, "This is great! I can actually
our
say this
culture.
stuff again."
It's our culture. It's very
Yeah.
relieving to get it out of your system a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a nice feeling. But I just want to give a big thank you real quick.
Yeah,
Angry
promotes
Badger
camaraderie.
and everybody, thank you for the raid. I saw
Badger.
Badger stream with Erwin and Gooch
All right,
right
Badger.
before this. Thank you
Very
for the
nice.
raid, Badger, and the crew, and for everybody stopping in the chat. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully, we can provide you with some entertainment for the rest of the evening as we go along. Going to be getting into some memes. What were you going to say, Coldhauser?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I in Modern Warfare 2, I was the master YouTuber, so I knew how to use
Yep.
that thing, and I had afterwards, and because I had Danger Close on, so I had like almost every word.
I can only imagine the
rate.
rage you got directed
Oh yeah, it was
towards you.
great.
I have to share one more meme, and then we're going to be getting into the Sydney Sweeney interview that sparked a lot of controversy this week. But before that, one more meme. Like we were talking, No room for getting offended on this show. Not going to play the whole clip. POV. You're my real estate agent. Just going to play like 10 seconds.
And I will tell you this as plainly as possible. I don't want to live around black people. I just don't. It would be irresponsible if I had a wife and kids to live near black people. It just would be.
Okay, that's it. Funny enough. I just had to show it. Speaking of the type of conversations
Hey,
we
he
have,
knows where he wants to live.
Yeah.
while playing
That's right.
Halo, Ronan.
Hey, I agree.
Yeah, Cole Hauser, you're like, I don't want to live near him either.
Listen, we got areas where, trust me, like we got friends who live in a certain area where I just say, you come to us because we're not driving in this area, so because we know what's going to happen.
Mhm.
Yes, stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yeah, they
Just
do.
saying. But moving on, guys, this took the internet by storm. The death stare from Sydney Sweeney herself. She was on an interview this week with a fairly woke interviewer. Now, before we play the clip, Sydney Sweeney, this is from America First Post on X, refuses to disavow, quote, joking about white people's genetic superiority in relation to the Sweeney's Great Genes ad. That's all it was an advertisement. Let's listen to the clip, then get some reactions.
The criticism of the content, which was basically
She doesn't
that
look happy to be
maybe
there.
specifically in this political climate, like
Not one bit.
white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
I just want to say one thing. I'm going to rewind. Look, first of all, every freeze frame is like, okay, gross. Listen to what she says. I want to give you an opportunity.
About this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to
Who the hell do you think you are? You're just an interviewer, and you're talking to a world-famous superstar. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. What do you guys think? Right off the cuff.
I have
initial
no doubt
reaction.
that she had been kicked out of 109 interviews already.
Yes, more than likely. And it was not her fault, Cornboy. It was
Not
never
her
her
fault
fault.
at all, no.
Look
the
at Sydney's
intention-
face
the-
progressively getting, I am sick of this woman. I am sick of this interviewer. I hate it. What were you saying, Ronan?
The intent of that interviewer, that lady, if we want to call her, just is clearly she's trying to lead Sydney Sweeney into saying a particular thing. You notice with the questions, she's trying to get her to have
Yes.
a particular response. And just as if I couldn't love this woman any more than I already do, because she's, absolutely smart and attractive. Like,
No simping, Ronan. No. I'm
all
kidding.
right,
What?
all right, no simping. But the point I'm trying to say is that she clearly knows how to handle these kinds of questions in any of these
Yes.
kind of interviews. Whether it's because she's dating Scooter Braun and Scooter Braun gets it, or because she has a good publicity team, or maybe she's inherently smart and she gets the kind of games that these people are playing. Whatever the case is, she understands how to navigate through these questions, and she knows not to fall into the pit traps. 100%, she gets it.
Sydney Sweeney, I don't get the impression that she's stupid. People say, oh, she's just a model, an actress, whatever. It seems she knows how to handle herself with these interviewers. See bait when it is right in front of her, and not falling for the, is this the gayest Star Wars ever? Like they like to say, bait them into this stuff that they're not even implying, but then they feel forced to be like, yes, sure, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy stuff.
And that's the difference between actors and people who can think for themselves. They know their convictions, they know what they know, and they're not going to apologize for it, so
This just
Absolutely,
kind of
yes.
reminds me of Kurt Russell. I remember like a couple years back, Kurt Russell, he was getting interviewed about politics and whatnot. He himself even said, I'm an actor. Like, I'm pretty much just a clown. And that's all that
Exactly,
I'm going to
yes.
be. Most of us actors are just clowns. So there's no reason for any of us to share our own political
Billy Bob
beliefs.
Thornton commented on that, and I have that clip pulled up here in a few tabs where he says basically, why would you get your politics advice from celebrities and actors?
Exactly.
They don't know anything. Essentially, they're clowns. That's what they are. They're acting. What were you saying?
Go ahead, Ronan.
No, just to like finish up the thoughts, I guess. The other thing too, just to kind of really drive the last nail in the coffin in all of this, is that actors before, a long time ago, like during the Renaissance era and the medieval eras, they were the lowest form of people in the social hierarchy. Like, people would
Yes.
look down on actors. I honestly think it's time that we go back to that kind of
They are
era.
the street performing jesters. They're clowns.
Absolutely, because that's all that they are. Dance for us, clown. That's all that it really is. They're just here to entertain us. There's no reason that they have to preach down to any of us. Your job
They're not
is
the
just
pinnacles of morality in a society, to say the least. If anything, they're the opposite of that, of
It's
degeneracy and ignorance.
pretty much it. Go ahead, Kohlhauser. What were you going to say?
Well, see, the problem is with this interviewer. She basically has I look at her as the BLM narrative interviewer, where
Mm,
she's basically
okay.
telling you, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be, I'm trying to not say a word, but she's basically trying to corner
Trying
her.
to shame her or something.
Exactly, in
Pretty
her
much.
whiteness. So
Okay.
that's, like I said, I'm
Will
just
you
trying to-
apologize for your ancestry? Will you say
Exactly.
sorry? I'm
Yeah.
too white.
And that's why
what they're trying to bait her into doing.
And that's why
yes.
she brought up the whole Trump thing, because if she basically said, I agree, well, he's a racist just like you are. And that's how they're trying to play this game.
That's what it is.
It's one of
bait.
two paths. It's either she falls back in line with the rest of them, or she basically outs herself as a racist as they want it to be. She obviously, managed to navigate it just fine without giving any specific answers. But a lot of people online, if you really look at the discourse on X and whatnot, they still basically lump her in with racists. You can't really win with these people.
No, you cannot, because they always virtue signal and they will project their own reality upon you, whether it's true or not, and it's usually not. And
Right.
Jake Martin pinpointed this perfectly here. You're white and pretty. You need to repent. That's a sin
Yeah.
to them.
And why would you want to placate the people who don't purchase physical media or go out, to support the things they say they support online? They don't support these things. Numerous
Very true.
leaders in the industry has proved it time and time again.
Very true. The modern
And-
audience does not exist.
Yeah,
Right.
and think about this. Say it was like on the left, Susan Sarandon and Sarah Silverman. Would they have gotten the same if they did a Gene commercial? Would they have gotten the same,
Probably
questions?
not.
I don't
No.
recall Beyonce getting any questions like that
No.
from her jeans commercial.
No, except I didn't even want to watch that one because it was had Beyonce in it. So
But the whole thing is now is black is good, white is bad. That's how everything's being perceived now.
of course, that's what it is. It's white shaming, and it's a struggle session, and it's very much it's fascistic in the way they do it. Actually, they want to force you to conformity of their worldview, like the left likes to do. The Gene ad in question. This is from geeksandgamers.com. Great articles they've been putting up summarizing this stuff. A few months ago, Sydney filmed a series of ads for American Eagle. We've all seen it. Let's check it out again for a second.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're
Went
the
world
most
famous.
comfortable jeans
Absolutely
I've ever worn.
viral.
Or that they make your butt look
I don't think you're white,
amazing.
hoodie. You look pretty Mexican.
Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney.
Oh my goodness, it's right out of 1940s Germany, guys. Absolutely crazy. I saw the Iron Cross and
How
the eagle
dare
and
she.
that weird inverted shaped spinny thing that they used to have on their armband. Horrible stuff.
Goebbels was the director.
Yes, he was actually. Yes.
Aryan superiority illusions aside, I might have to turn the camera off. I'm going to need a few minutes, guys.
No worries, brother.
All right, you got 38
that-
seconds. It's
Is that
all you
ice?
spare.
No, I think I heard ice knocking at his door. Actually, that's the reason why. He's gonna
I
go
know,
hide.
la migra.
But no, I didn't see anything speaking about her claiming to be superior for her skin color. It's due to the fact that she is pretty famous for her looks personally. Nothing about racial superiority in that ad whatsoever. And I agree with ABF. Hoodie is not white. He's gay. And hail Vagabond in the chat. How you doing? I think Vagabond
There
would
we go.
agree with what we're saying here with the perfect encapsulation. Well, this perfectly
Encapsulates.
who wants to say it? Encapsulates. I'm being like Beardo today. The Force driving 99% of the Sydney Sweeney backlash. So there's a
That's a
Cole.
person.
I mean, any of you guys want to describe
A
this?
very specific physiognomy that finds offense with Sydney Sweeney's
Yes.
ad, shall we say.
Yes, I think I saw that in the beginning of Return of the Jedi, but moving on. The other day, Sydney sat down for the interview, which we just watched. This lady's Catherine Stoffel. Interesting. Spends over 3 minutes trying to get Sydney to apologize for her Great Jeans ad. Nothing to apologize for, and she handled it perfectly. The memes from this have been incredible, taking the internet over this week. Did you take your latest booster? Stares. And there's never a response. It's like the Anakin and Padme meme. It's perfect. Which we've all been there. Have you gotten your latest booster? Ronan, have you gotten your latest booster by any chance?
Yes, I got my booster to defend myself from the Coof booster because I am
Based.
never letting that shit touch my body.
Based. Pure blood for life. Cole Hauser, what do you think of this meme? Did you get your booster this week?
Never.
Weekly.
I got
Never.
my tomahawk steak this week, but not a
Ooh.
booster.
All
Pretty
right,
based.
good.
Hey, we'll have to talk about how you should cook that well done at some point. Moving on. Sydney Sweeney meme templates. How many guns do you own?
None of your business,
Staring.
Fed.
None of your business. She's glowing in the dark over here. So it's been an amazing meme template. They even hit the subject on Open Bar on Critical Drinkers channel. Let's hear out what the boys had to say about it. Mahler and Caps summed it up perfectly.
It's kind of a fucking shitty question to begin with. What you go, white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. It's like, well, everyone else should. What does that mean? Like,
Exactly.
it's kind of
And that sums it up perfectly. You know, she's saying she would not have said that if this was a black woman or an Asian woman or a Hispanic woman. It's because she's white. That's why she singled her out with that. So
Any other race, it's quite all right that they make the jokes about superiority or all this other stuff. The minute that white folks do it, like, and I'm okay if every race is gonna be doing it because we're all making these jokes. But if white people are the one that are going to be demonized when you make the jokes, clearly there's some kind of issue going on.
exactly. Yeah,
Well,
and you can tell they're singling white people out with this. Cole, that's what you're gonna
like
say.
I remember back when Obama first got elected, and people came up to me and goes, "Oh, yeah, how come you're not happy?" Well, because you guys just the Americans just elected a commie.
Yes.
Oh, well, you can't say that. That's wrong. I said, well, did you look at the guy's history? Well, he's bringing hope and change, and that's the problem. People they look at these people, they don't look at what they're about, and then they just like, hey,
They can't see past skin color. They're
No,
just
they
that
can't.
dense. They can't see beyond it whatsoever. And if you criticized Obama back in the day, you'd be like, well, are you racist? You don't like him because he's black?
Absolutely.
No, I don't
Pretty
like him
much.
because he's a freaking communist. That's why.
I don't like him because he actually killed American citizens with drone strikes, but that's neither here nor there.
That too, and Fast and Furious, and a lot of other things, sending weapons to the Taliban, all sorts of stuff. Moving on, Lauren Chen on X said it took an actress in her 20s to show conservatives how to refuse to be bullied by journalists. Very true. How often do we see very weak, intestineless conservatives who claim to be, we're going to take down the liberals, we're going to be tough and stand for values, but the second they get cornered by a journalist, they bow and kowtow and crumble immediately. But Sydney, being in her 20s, said, nah, not going to do that.
well, you can look at what's going on in my country.
Yes.
Our conservatives were opposed to take this thing, to run the government, but when they get too far ahead, they kind of cornered and they're like, well, we don't want to be offending too many people because they're always still trying to, give an olive branch to the other side.
Right.
And
that's one of those words I
lost.
hate, is a respectable bipartisan.
Yeah,
It means you stand
and
for
this is
something.
why we keep losing here,
Yes.
So because they always want to say, well, they're not too bad.
Honestly, Cole Hauser, if
They're
I'm
not too
gonna
evil.
be for real, when the truckers' protests occurred and the government had actually cracked down during that should have been a genuine wake-up call for all the conservatives in Canada to basically say, we can't play nice with these kinds of people. We actually need to push harder against them. We can't show olive branches. We actually have
Yes.
to compete and kind of, I don't want to say topple, but basically push them out and try and
Challenge
take
their
control
beliefs
of the country
aggressively.
back.
Yes.
Yes.
But
that's
I
basically
will
what
tell
needs
you,
to happen.
Ronan, at the beginning of that protest, the conservatives basically said what the liberals said: you guys need to go home. And it wasn't until the PPC, Bernier Party, basically said,
Mhm.
we got to support them. And that's when the conservatives switched over and said, okay, we got to support them now.
Of course.
Right.
So-
right.
Of course. Of course. It always takes that. They can never.
Because I was
they
in
can never
the
formulate that on
government
their
for
own.
about 20 years. So,
Oh, okay.
you know,
I can only imagine how much of that
it's
you've
sad.
seen. The conservatives kowtowing to the left. You know.
Right.
Oh,
Pretty sad state of
every day.
affairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty pathetic. But Greg Gutfeld, who is in the mainstream media, he's on Fox News. Pretty funny guy. Obviously, I don't agree with him on everything, but in terms of mainstream media, as far as that's concerned, he's funny enough. That's what I'll say. Greg Gutfeld is going viral with the biggest mic drop moment when a podcaster from the New York Times, very interesting, the New York Times now has podcasters on their team, whatever, tried to complain about Planned Parenthood receiving mean letters. Gutfeld, well, I mean, they are killing kids. So let's hear his response to the reporter complaining about Planned Parenthood getting mean letters.
They write letters, but they're so polite. No, the ones I get, I'm telling you, man, the ones I get, it's like, Greg, we always respect your opinions, but I must ask you, please refrain from using the Lord's name in vain. And then they will try to, it's Penn Jillette said to me, like, he's an atheist. He's like,
someone who works at Planned Parenthood might have a different opinion about how polite the religious
well, I mean, they
letter
are killing
writers
children,
but-
so
Wow.
that's part of the game.
Mic drop. You see that guy just immediately clam up
yeah.
from that response. Immediately. That's how you
Hey,
deal with the media.
Pale as a ghost, that man, as soon as he hears that. Because let's face it, that is the actual
knows it's true,
reality.
too.
It's that
Yeah.
is the genuine reality. When pregnant women go into Planned Parenthood, if they're not going there to actually get help for the pregnancy, they're going there to terminate it. And I don't just mean terminate it by removing the child. I'm talking about the whole process where they literally cut the baby
It's-
up into pieces. It's vile. It's sickening.
Straight out of a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's eugenics and it's murder. It's
Well,
it's genocide.
Well, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that because that's how Planned Parenthood started. Margaret Sanger. And why? And
Very
where
true.
was it that they focused it around on? Mostly the urban areas. And
Yep.
who was mainly living in the urban areas? A lot of black folks. So,
Yep.
you know, two and 2
They'll
together.
defend her till the cows come home, though. Apparently, she was a hero of women's rights, according to the left.
Yes,
But it's
Pretty
kind of
crazy
sad
stuff.
that black. It's funny because at the end of the day, blacks won't take responsibility for their actions.
Unfortunately, and it's a sad state of affairs because we want our fellow Americans to be strong and have strong families, and it's a sad thing to see. But
But you know,
Yeah.
what will happen for somebody who's on the other side watching? They go, well, this guy Kohlhauser, he's not one of us. He's an Uncle Tom. You know, you know,
Of course.
that's how they will. That's how
they will
look
call
at
you a
things.
race traitor immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
The second, yeah,
Exactly.
just because you don't want to see people die, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've seen this play out with Charlie Kirk and how they really think of us and what they want to happen to us. But before we get to that, I wanted to a little more lighthearted subject moving forward. Trump State Department says that U.S. visas can now be denied to unhealthy, fat foreigners. So we have a few pages on this. Let's see. Gonna scroll past that pretty quick. Foreigners with certain health conditions, including obesity, may now be denied U.S. immigrant visas under new guidance by the Trump administration. The move aims to reduce risk of foreigners relying on public benefits and becoming a, quote, public charge that drains taxpayer money for the benefit of unhealthy immigrants. Guys, what do you think? Is it too much to ask that, hey, if you want to come into our country and become a citizen and apply and da-da-da, maybe don't bring a bunch of diseases and detrimental things to our country? What do you guys think? Is this too much to ask?
Well, you got to look like me. You got to be fit and strong. That's the way it should be.
Pretty much. I mean, this whole coming here to milk the system for all the free stuff is pretty crazy. Yeah, if we could get more Kohlhauser type immigrants.
This stuff
We can have a
ties into
conversation.
like the SNAP and the EBT benefits as well too.
Yes,
Because
it
if you
does.
really consider
Absolutely.
it, like how many fatties, shall we say, are actually on Snap and EBT. Seriously, those people are
A very high
literally
percentage.
holding it down with with their own weight.
They are weighing it down. Yes.
Well, it's like that meme of the two shopping carts. The shopping cart that's barely empty, shopper with job. Shopping cart that's filled to the brim, overflowing, shopper without job.
I wish I saved that meme. You're absolutely right, Cornboy. Middle class America, practically empty shopping cart scraping by, and then people, abusing the system, which is what they are. They're abusing it. Absolutely full shopping cart, usually with garbage, absolute garbage. Too.
It is partially abusing the system, though. If you actually look at the system itself, it is sort of functioning as they designed it as such. That's the problem, is that the system with Snap and EBT is kind of the issue in and of itself, because it's essentially incentivizing poverty, because there's only a certain level of money that people can make yearly when they're allowed to be eligible to sign up for that kind of stuff.
This is very true. It is designed to keep people, all in all, culturally, it's cooked.
It's the same thing with all systems of free money. You throw money at the homeless, what do you get? More homeless.
Yep.
You throw money at poverty and starvation, you get more starvation and poverty.
If you allow them to have the power to feed you, then you give them the power to starve you as well. So the moment you piss them off, they'll say, well, you get nothing. So that's why you should never rely on the government. Cole Hauser,
in the 90s, we had a great premier here. Premier is equal to governor.
Right.
Where if you were on, he basically changed the whole welfare state, where if you want welfare, you got to take a drug test. You got to prove that you're actually going out there looking for work. And the left went nuts.
I can imagine.
They went crazy. But that was the requirement. You have to be actively looking for work, and you have to have drug testing.
It's how they buy votes. It's as simple as that. That's what it is.
Those are basic parameters, honestly, Cole Hauser. But the fact that the left does go insane, that should show you that their idea of social services and social safety nets aren't, small leg ups that are going to actually help somebody get on the right path. It's literally just Gibbs. That's all that it is. It's just free Gibbs.
It's the
and
Gibbs.
Just give me this, give me that, give me it
and
now. That's all
that
it is, sadly.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
And then vote for me.
Yeah. Well, that's the eternal struggle. It's the givers versus takers. You got the givers on one side paying their taxes, trying to uphold society, and then you got the takers who, just rely on everyone else's work to benefit from, and the cities that are going down into becoming hellholes are the ones where the takers are outnumbering the givers.
I like calling them parasites instead, but yeah, takers also work too.
Leeches, off the system.
Well, we had a thing here when Trudeau was prime minister. It was a grant. It was basically a federal grant for Black people. I called it black money because it's just like
really,
because I had friends, my white friends would say, how is this? How is it they're getting money but we're not? It was It was basically all he was doing is buying votes.
Right.
That's all he was doing with that.
That's what it is, and that should be illegal.
Yeah.
That should not be. You should not be able to do that. It's just a bad thing all around, and I hope Trump can get this under control. The Trump administration, and people are crying victim. One of them being Olivia Juliana from the DNC. She had some things to say about it. So, the Trump administration rolling out new visa restrictions that would allow. She does. She's always weighing in on these matters.
Weighing in.
That would allow immigration officers to deny visas to high-calorie humans and others deemed to be a risk for public health systems. The exemptions could apply to weight or other pre-existing medical conditions. This is the face of the liberal youth in this country, unfortunately.
Did they use the phrase high-calorie humans in that post?
High-calorie humans. High-calorie humans, yes. And as someone,
I would say excess calorie humans, because most high-calorie humans can be fit if they, do it right.
Yes.
This is just the continuous babyfication of language. It honestly pisses me off to no avail that Just
say
call
fat.
them what they
Just say
are.
fat.
They're fats. They're
Yeah, or
fatties.
obese.
That's all that they are.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if we're hurting their feelings or not. Literally,
It's irrelevant.
I'm okay with calling them fats because at least they understand they're unhealthy. That's the whole point of like us calling you fat. We are shaming you so you understand you got to lose fucking weight so you don't have a heart attack or you don't get type 2 diabetes. If you want, but if you want to kill yourself by, shoving food into your face, fine, be our guest, but we're not going to be spending our tax dollars helping you do that. That's pretty much the equivalent of like Maid over in Canada, except we're not shoving you in the pod. You probably can't even fit in the fucking pod anyways.
We need XL Canadian healthcare pods. Preach it, Ronan. We live in a free country. If you want to eat yourself to extinction,
Instead of
do it on your
starving
own
them
dollar.
to death, they're feeding them
Do it
to
on
death,
your own
yeah.
dollar at the very least. Don't force us at gunpoint to pay for your sickness.
Well,
You're gonna
what's
say,
funny
"Cole,
here during COVID, the gyms were all closed. They closed down all the gyms, but McDonald's, Burger King, all the fast food places, they got to stay open.
And they said they did the same thing here in Jersey as well, and a lot of other Democrat-run states. Gyms were closed down. A lot of these like health and wellness centers were closed down, but Walmart opened up. Dairy Queen opened up. McDonald's. Oh, that's absolutely necessary. It has to stay open. Okay.
Of course, because they consider an essential service because people don't know how to cook basic things or boil water.
Right.
Because they took home ec out of schools as well. Did you know people are starving right now? People are starving because of Trump's horrible cuts to the SNAP benefits. This lady right here, I don't know her name, Danielle Grant. Danielle Grant is saved from the brink of starvation as the Senate advances funding bill. Guys, she's saved from the brink of starvation. Let's hear what Miss Grant has to say on the matter. Let's get through this real quick. Let's hear what Miss Grant has to say.
It's really bad. Danielle Grant is starving.
Starving.
Yes. I'm trying to see if I can get some food because we literally don't have anything to eat today or tomorrow. So we're going to try to make ends meet, and we can. Desperate for food, nowhere to go. Grant and
Okay, I just have to say, not to make light of her situation, whatever. She could have emotional issue, but the point is, she's not starving. I think that's fair to say.
It's literally Patrick Starr. You took my only food. Now I'm gonna starve. Yeah,
exactly.
Sure. Okay.
That's exactly what it is. It's crazy to see. Crazy to see. Hail Nerd Slap. Good to see you in the chat. What do you guys think? You think she's gonna starve? You think she'll make it to the end of the week, or
I think if she makes to the end of the week and her benefits get reinstated, they might want to have them, or take away a significant percentage, or maybe reform the program a bit to include a bit more healthy foods. Maybe I don't know.
If I remember correctly, now today they just opened up the government temporarily. Like they pushed a sort of budget that's only existing until January, if I remember correctly.
Well, it gets voted on in Wednesday in the House. It has to pass both houses.
Right.
Well, it's a short. What do they call it? A short CR?
Continuing resolution.
Yeah. Okay, that's what it was.
Exactly. And Legatus makes a good point. There are this thing called food banks in churches and outreach centers as well. So there's resources.
Exactly.
It's pretty much, if you are willing to put in like 1% of effort, you can receive help in one form or another in the United States of America. You don't have to always do it on the taxpayer dime. There are private charity organizations that are willing to help you.
And that's another thing that failed us, making it so easy is to give them a little credit card to just swipe away.
Yes,
it
effort
takes all
involved
the discernment out of or shame out of using it.
My old church actually has like 2 pantries that they have set up for trying to give to the homeless population that we have here in my town. And obviously plenty of like low-income families sign up for the program that they have so that they can receive, food benefits. They don't have to go directly to the government for that kind of stuff. There's churches and again, other private charity groups that will offer this kind of stuff. None of this needs to be paid through taxpayer dollars.
Not whatsoever. No, private charity is the way to do it because you're not holding someone hostage to say, "Give me your charity," at
Exactly.
government gunpoint.
But that's the less mentality to just keep these people on their dime to make sure they're subservient to them.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's communist ideology. It's socialist communist ideology. And it's
But
not
isn't
good,
there a
and we
way
don't
for
want
them
that.
to just sorry, Isaac, but
Go
isn't
ahead.
there a way
No.
for them to just completely, I guess, shelve this EBT cards and just have certain amount of, where you can't, you can only go to certain places to shop.
Well,
There
they've
should
expanded
be,
it to
yeah.
everything
They
like
expand it
McDonald's now.
over and over
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
They
The
kept
id-
they were doing the opposite. They
Subway.
were fast food, everything. Yeah.
The idea should be to do a sort of hard cut on the EBT, at least on things like fast food and candy and things like that. But then you slowly wane the whole SNAP and EBT benefits off. The only essentials that should be allowed to be purchased using SNAP and EBT benefits should be ingredients like salt and pepper, or some
Yes.
spices, not fancy spices, but then of course other important foods like rice, your grains, meat,
Basic
beans,
essentials.
things
Yeah,
like that,
stuff.
basic essentials. And then
Not
over
fast food.
time,
Yeah.
we slowly push it away just so that way we don't have to rely on EBT as a thing anymore.
So is this is okay? So I know it's been funded by the federal government, but is this like almost like I guess every state is different where they or is it just completely the
Yeah,
feds?
each state runs their own, and,
Oh, okay.
and they get the
Mhm.
money from the federal government.
And as you can
Yes.
imagine, blue states are very, very liberal with
Oh,
their.
okay.
Oh yeah, I know.
As I saw, Minnesota grew like 150% in the last 4 years or something like that with their EBT benefits.
Well, they also have certain populations coming to their state right now, so
Yeah.
looking for the
Well,
looking for the free things. Yes.
and this is where the Republicans need to stand their ground and say enough is enough, no more.
I mean, they
Yes.
already have a successful program like WIC for pregnant mothers to get all the nutrition they need. You know,
Right.
they have the grocery stores put out items, put out tags, what you can buy with WIC. Why can't they do the same with EBT? This is what you can buy here with EBT.
The
Yes.
essentials.
And it's just in an effort to use taxpayer funds wisely, which is not too much to ask,
It's
in
not.
my opinion.
Well,
But
that's too much common
speaking,
sense.
oh yeah, it's just that's.
I
I'm a
mean,
right-wing
even at
extremist, I
like
guess.
farmers markets, I hear they were giving double points out, double your dollars for EBT to use at farmers markets. They still wouldn't go.
Yeah, and like Chris said, a great point. Meat, vegetables, milk, spices, cheese, pastas,
Right.
keep you alive type of stuff. Not
Lo-
going to McDonald's and not crap.
A lot of the stuff I was mentioning just now, exactly.
But speaking of spending tax dollars wisely, one way I do support spending them is on ICE, Immigrations and Custom Enforcement. Over 200,000 Americans have applied to join ICE.
Get
200,000
them in there.
patriots.
What are you waiting for?
La
Jeez.
migra.
Sign them up. Every person that's even remotely eligible, let's get them in there and get these people out of our country. What do you guys think? 200,000 patriots.
I'm going to
looking
be
to join
honest.
ICE.
I partially thought about signing up just because there's that $50,000 bonus. It sounds
That too.
pretty good. And yes, defending the country's borders. I'm actually willing to do
Absolutely.
something like that.
See, if this if it can fast track my American citizenship, I'll do it.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
We'll
No,
import
well, okay.
Canadians to
There you go.
get the Mexicans
Let's
out.
do it.
Cole
Yes.
Hauser right there. That service guarantees citizenship, just
Yeah.
like
Hell yeah.
Starship Troopers. That's a good way of looking at it.
I think I'd be a great ICE agent.
I would love
Yeah.
to see that. Cole Hauser chasing down the. I got to be careful what I say, but
Yeah.
nonetheless,
He's already got the bouncer experience. I think he'd do a good job.
Well, I got my government experience too, so
Right, that as well. Yeah.
But Cole, you might need to deal with people like this. A lady, and I use that word lightly, a woman in Oregon. Portland, of course,
Oh.
Portland, starts panicking, hyperventilating, and begging for mercy after getting pulled over for impeding ICE operations. Impeding law enforcement activity is a felony in this country. And then she started screaming, "I'm just a mom. I'm just a mom," she pleaded to the
So you
cops.
can do literally whatever you want then, huh? Okay. lady.
Exactly. The woman was captured on camera running a red light before trying to box in ICE vehicles, blocking them in. According to the Post-Millennial, the woman is a, quote, spotter who is stationed in the neighborhood to alert illegals about ICE operations. The woman's information was handed over to HSI and the U.S. Attorney's Office. We don't have to watch the whole clip, but let's get an impression of what this woman was up to right off the bat. She was flipping people off. Look at this. Making faces. There's the finger.
That Mustang's coming out.
What a respectful lady, right?
She just ran a red light.
Setting a real good example to her kids.
Absolutely. She's just a mom, guys.
Yeah, fast little car. She's right behind you now.
Running from the cops, evading police. On a wet road, so
All right,
it's safe.
slow down. Let me do this.
Yeah, come down here. Come down here. Fine road.
Okay.
Look at
Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights.
She's just a mom, guys. She's not doing anything wrong.
Watch this
Right?
next
Turn on the lights.
part
Turn on the
too.
lights. Hey,
She knows who's right next to her, so she immediately
Exactly right.
tries to leave.
Exactly right. It's a felony. So collided with a officer's vehicle.
you're impeding with the
Exactly,
federal
Steve.
investigation.
Exactly.
We have you on camera. We actually have news reporters with us in the vehicle. Your case will be referred over to Homeland Security investigation for prosecution.
Yes, as it should be.
You will be arrested. This is your last and final warning. Hold on a second, guys. Give me your license, please. I will once again tell you.
Listen to her start spelling out the excuses. I'm just a mom.
Put your vehicle in park and shut it off, please. I understand, but you are impeding.
She's
Look
just
where
a
you
mom,
are.
guys.
You are almost causing an accident. You
This officer is
are
very
surrounded by
level-headed, I
federal
would say.
agents.
Much calmer than I would be.
Okay, I am the deputy field office director here, ma'am.
So right off the bat, we're halfway through the clip. What's your initial impression of this? Just a mom. She's just a mom, guys. What do you think of her?
I
Good
know
example for her
said,
kids.
I know I said I wanted to be an ICE agent. All I know is this: if I was that ICE agent there, I probably would not have been as calm. Probably would have brought out the baton, try and scare her a little bit. That's
Ride
just
the
me.
lightning.
This
Ride the
guy,
lightning.
this guy handled it in a very professional manner, but he was very stern about the situation too. Because
Yes.
honestly, you're seeing in a lot of these other cities, especially in Portland, you're seeing the way that most of these like savages, I'm going to put it like that. And no, I'm not
course.
specifying any specific race. I'm talking about obviously the folks, the Antifa folks that are going after these ICE agents and going after cops as well too. You're seeing them basically try and attack them and assault them, and they almost
And dox them too.
get
mind
away
you.
with
Yes.
it with like 99% of the time. So I'm glad that there are agents who are willing to actually chase down these folks who are harassing them and basically telling them, look, you have this one warning. Do not mess with us. Do not mess with the jobs we're trying to do. And the
Yes.
jobs that the majority of this country have essentially asked us to do, or else we're going to make your life a lot tougher and a lot harder than it needs to be. And it's all
Absolutely right.
going to be this person's fault for trying to do this.
Absolutely.
So I
No, she
agree
was
with
totally
you,
in the
Ronan.
wrong here.
Yeah, Ronan, I agree with you because that's why, if I was an ICE agent, like, things could be a lot different.
Yeah.
But I think at a certain point, ICE has to let loose. They have to let loose and just say,
They
you know
need
what?
to get
Again,
tougher. Yes.
Enough is enough.
I do not disagree at all. Absolutely. I do not. I understand that there's some restraint that's held here. I absolutely do. At the same time, I wouldn't care if ICE does decide to let loose. I've been kind of waiting for it to finally happen. It needs to happen because the sad reality is when it comes to leftists, the only type of language they really respond to is violence and power.
Yeah.
They need to be shown that from the right.
They don't respond to reason whatsoever. They
Yeah.
need to, at the very least, it's not hard to say. We're not calling for anything crazy. We're saying,
Yes.
give them some prison time. Give them some time behind bars to reflect upon their actions a little.
What
Come
I'm
on.
asking for is the people that we've elected into office to actually use the full force of the law as
Yes.
they have been given. That's what I'm
Like-
asking for more than anything else.
Bare minimum. Like Jake
I
said in the
think-
chat, just enforce the law. That's enough. That's all we're asking for.
I think if you remember, I don't know if you guys remember during the summer when it was in San Francisco when all the ICE agents were at the courthouse,
right?
And they were being followed, and there was some scuffs going on. But the one black ICE agent in the Charger who rolled up and just pulled out his M4 and said back up, that's when a lot of these guys got the point. And I think ICE has to be doing more of that, just to say, listen, you want to mess around with us? We are going to mess around with you.
Yeah,
So
if
they
you're going to
really
be flying
just,
a 2,000-pound bullet down the street, endangering people's lives, you know, maybe you need to respond with some appropriate force because what she was doing, she
extreme
could have killed
prejudice
people.
has to be used.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's not about feelings and it's not about optics.
I mean,
unless
these
it's
people
for getting a point across. Yeah.
These people are already using violence to the point where they had a sniper try and shoot at ICE agents. I think it was in Texas, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And
in Dallas.
I mean, thank God the guy was a terrible shot because he just ended up shooting the illegals. I mean,
That he did.
Again, terrible thing that happened, but thank goodness the ICE agents weren't hurt. But these guys are already resorting to violence to an extreme degree. Like the
Yes,
bare
and
minimum
they're spouting
that
it
can occur-
online left and right too.
the bare minimum that should occur would be, as you said, Kohlhauser, these guys need to take out their service rifles and basically say, if you want me to use this, I will use this. And hopefully that kind of gets it through their thick skulls that they have two choices there. They either back the hell off and go home, or, well, the second
Because
option
mind
is.
you, not only are they endangering civilians, which is horrible enough. There could be children walking on the street, horrible stuff. These officers have the right to go home safe to their families at night too. These are people
absolutely.
as well. They're not just robots with a badge on. They have the right to protect themselves just as anyone else does. So that's something to keep in mind. I just want to finish up this clip and then we will get final thoughts.
We're running the name. We're going to refer this case over for enforcement action.
Doing the crying act.
Just a mom, right?
Just a mom,
You are
guys.
you turn around and get out of here.
I'm getting out of here. I'm getting
Here
out
you
of
go.
here. I'm getting
Slow
out
down.
of
Hey,
here. Yes.
hey.
She
Guys,
wants to
guys,
be
I
white
got it.
George Floyd. That's
got
what she
it.
wants.
Yeah.
Got it. Everybody break away. Break
She's
away.
stalling too. She could just
Everybody
leave.
break
He's
away.
saying leave and she won't.
Kylie, look at me. Look at me. Quiet. Look at me. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Having to be
Okay?
her
I need
therapist
you
at the
right
same
now.
time.
Take a deep breath. I want you to pull over right here and go home. Okay? Take a deep breath.
Can I just? I'm shaking.
You may leave. Please turn around. I'm gonna stop traffic for you.
She pulled up. I'm
Go.
literally shaking.
Okay?
Literally stopping traffic for her.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
is way more than she deserves, honestly.
You okay, Kylie?
He just said I gave you a break, and he did.
Everybody break away. I got this.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. And I just want to say the most heinous thing of all that I saw everybody point out. This is an electric Charger. What the heck? That should be illegal. This should
Mustang.
be gas. Mustang, Mustang. Yeah. Jeremy pointed out on CobraCast. That's just heinous.
Like
Not Charger,
I know
Mustang.
from myself when I do security at our events, when I was doing it when I was working in government, everybody knew they mess around, they're gonna get hurt because I always, like, even when we did, because I had Jay here at TFCon and I ran the security and I made sure I let everybody know, you mess around, you're going down and you're going to go down hard. So
Yep. And like Jake Martin said again, perfect. This is not Twitter or Blue Sky. This is real life, and there are real consequences.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That there are. And sometimes you need to have a brutal awakening like that to realize you can't act like an insane child in public. But the liberals are preparing to allegedly, according to this guy, storm politicians' offices on November 20th and demand Trump's impeachment. Well, we don't have to watch this whole thing. Let's hear what this clown with F. Donald Trump gear all over him has to say for a moment.
It's time to remove the regime. We have to remove him from power.
Oh, wow.
There's one way to do this. It's not violent. If violence is the way, then America has failed. The way we take him out of power is the people that are sitting in those offices on Capitol Hill. Look at what's going on to the people in this country and say enough is enough, and they push forth articles of impeachment. They support it. They vote for it. Everyone should be signing it. If they get enough to pass it and send it to the Senate and convict them and remove.
So they're calling for Trump's impeachment. They're trying to pressure their elected officials into doing this. Mind you, these are the people that still say democracy is under attack, even though Trump was democratically elected by a voter majority in this country. What do you guys think? Are these great defenders of democracy, these people right here, or are they clowns? Because that's what I think he is.
Well, they're great defenders of their democracy. You have to remember, like,
Yes.
they really like to use the phrase "our democracy," like speaking on their behalf. They really like using that terminology. And clearly, when they say that phrase, they're not talking about people like us being part of that democracy. Not a damn bit.
Not whatsoever. No, they want to tell us to face the wall. That's what they want to say, when they get their democracy, And Steve makes a good point too. The Thor's hammer on his chest. I noticed that. You're based pagans, or What were you going to say, Cole?
Well, you got to remember, these people don't understand or know what democracy is about, because these are the same people who cheered when they locked us down, who told us to stay home, who took the jab. These are the same people who pushed that, and these are the same people who will push for digital ID, push for censorship online,
Push for banning a sitting president off of social media.
So they're all in agreement of this. So
these are the same people that will celebrate when a husband and father is shot in the neck in front of his family 2 months ago.
They want their
left
utopia, and they want somebody else to pay for it.
Yeah.
2 months ago. And do you guys remember? It was only 2 months ago, mind you. But all the people that celebrated and cheered for the murder of Charlie Kirk, it just exposed the leftists for who they really are. They're a demonic, satanic death cult. And that's not to say, I'm not talking about moderate liberals. I'm not talking about people who disagree on a few things. I'm saying these radical leftists, which have infected a large portion of the Democratic Party in this country, they love death, and they love seeing their opponents be murdered. So,
well, Isaac, I remember when you first invited me onto the Golden Age. It was especially for this, which just to say real quickly, that was probably one of like the best things that I could have ever been part of, was this stream when we were discussing his assassination. But like we were talking about on that same day, when this happened, these people really revealed themselves for the monsters that they are. Now, obviously there have been signs that it's always been there, but when this happened, because you got to remember, Charlie Kirk, yes, he was a conservative. Yes, he was trying to push for the GOP. Yes, he wanted for Trump to win and everything. But in comparison to a lot of us and a lot of our beliefs, he was essentially a moderate. That's all that he was. And again, he's also the guy who, he kind of supported a certain country, shall we say, that exists in the Middle East. Apparently the support was slowly waning because he started realizing
he said in his own words, I'm going to have to leave the pro-Israel camp towards the end there. And
but putting that aside, clearly he was a moderate in comparison. The fact that they shot this man in cold blood, killed him in cold blood, left his wife and children alone, and then celebrated and praised and danced and cheered about it. Like
for Halloween, they dressed up as him with a bloody neck. That's what they were doing for Halloween.
They did that as well too.
Evil people.
These are inhuman people. The things that they celebrate and the things that they fight for. It is, as you said, it is a death cult. That's what they are.
Yeah, and the one thing I found sickening was how the left keeps saying we got to bring the temperature down both sides. You can't bring the temperature down on both sides when it's only one side that's doing it. Constant, over and over again.
And 2 months ago was the mask off moment for them too.
Yeah, and the fact that the left keeps saying that, in my opinion, I don't believe that there were any leftists out there who said, they were for civility. They didn't, but they promote this with all their, with the shaming of Trump and going after him. They're all a part of it. Even some establishment on our side, like they're just
shameful.
Yeah, and now our own side is trying to censor us.
I have those tabs. I have those tabs lined up, Cornboy. Absolutely.
The most that the left has as to why they say we need to turn the temperature down is January 6th.
Yeah.
That's literally the most that they have, which I'm going to paraphrase Eric July. All January 6th was basically a bunch of dude bros and grandmas waving little American flags around while they went to Nancy Pelosi's desk and kicked their feet up on it. That's
Pretty much
the extent of January 6th. The most in terms of violence that occurred, yes, you had some violent folks that were, attacking police or essentially in combat with the police. I would say the worst that actually occurred was the death of Ashley Babbitt. That was the worst thing that happened.
absolutely violence of federal police against the people.
And look
Yeah.
at the
And
summer
now-
of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, Cornboy.
I was gonna say now they're looking at the Capitol Police as being behind the DNC and RNC bombing.
Yes.
Hoaxes.
I definitely want to cover that next week when we have more information on that, because we're seeing a lot of this. We were fed lies by the media, and Nishi makes a good point. They dressed up like
Yeah, it was
Charlie
an
Kirk in
op all
Australia.
around.
It was absolute fraud, but not to shift, but I did want to mention this. Speaking of teachers, perfect point. In Virginia, a transgender teacher posts rainbow gun pointed at that person's head, demanding pronoun be put back in emails. First of all, is there people like this in teaching roles? That's what I want to know. So state of Virginia figures stuff out. So this freak right here posted this, put the pronouns back in the email.
I had a feeling it was
Such
just post. Yeah.
Such peaceful and loving people, guys. They just want tolerance and love and peace. But if you don't respect their imaginary mental illness pronouns, they're going to put a rainbow pew-pew to your head because they hate you. So if you want to check out the rest of this article, it's on zerohedge.com. But these are the type of people indoctrinating children in public schools nowadays. And just something to be aware of,
And a sad state of affairs for Virginia now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Virginia as well.
They botched that like crazy in the
Oh, yeah.
gubernatorial election. Yes. But moving on, Sean Penn. One of the things I wanted to highlight this week was the mainstream media is dead. Celebrities' opinions don't matter. Sydney Sweeney laid out this stuff pretty well as we mentioned. But Sean Penn, I believe he's leader of the Film Actors Guild, is he not? He is the top fag. So Bill Maher talked to him, and nonetheless, he called him out because he's willing to meet with Castro and Chavez, but not the president of the United States. Don't have to see the full clip, but check this out. Sean Penn's an idiot.
I have not been invited. The only reason I would not accept an invitation is because I see no, it's a long flight. And I see no,
Really? You'll meet with fucking
I don't think that I
Castro
would-
and Hugo Chavez, but not the president of the United States?
Yeah, I saw good results come out of some of those things in terms of
You do realize
He
that
just said he saw good things come out of meeting with Chavez and Castro. Okay.
I don't think that there's anything that I would. I just personally
now.
wouldn't trust anything that was said in the room.
So he wouldn't trust anything from the president of the United States, but Chavez and Castro are good to go. What were you going to say?
How this dude gives praise to Chavez at all. If I remember correctly, Chavez was one of the former presidents of Venezuela, right?
Mm-hmm.
That country has basically turned into a shithole, and it's only getting even further worse with that piece of shit Nicolas Maduro that's running it as well too, to a point where it's affecting my own home country, Colombia, as well. My own home country, Colombia, has a really retarded president too, Gustavo Petro, who's basically in cahoots with all those, cartel and militia pieces of shit. At this point, if Trump decides to intervene, shall we say, in either of those nations, you won't hear me complain about it, because at the very least, we get rid of the communist scum that exists in those nations. This is the one time I would actually ask for intervention. But outside of that, I just am absolutely perplexed. But I shouldn't be surprised either, because Sean Penn's clearly a raging leftist retard.
That
full-blown commie, I'd say.
Yes,
Yeah. Well, wasn't it Sean Penn who said we should give? We should give Ukraine nukes, or we should nuke Russia over Ukraine.
I think you're right. I think that was
something that he
him
did
like a couple
say.
of years back during the beginning of it and stuff.
The man really should take. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, if you were, well, I'm a little older than some of you guys, but if you go back to Enduring Freedom with Bush,
Right,
Sean
yeah,
Penn
yeah.
and all those guys were out there saying, "Oh, we shouldn't be invading Iraq." You know,
Oh, of course.
you know, they had their whole, even though I never agreed, but they had their whole policy. You know, but when it comes down to everything, when Biden or Obama was, they were all good with it.
100% for
They
it.
were
Yeah.
his biggest cheerleaders on all
It
his.
boils down to Orange Man bad.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they can't see beyond that. So, yeah, he'll talk to Chavez and Castro, but not Trump, because Trump's just too far, too extreme for him.
Yeah.
So we talked about it earlier. Billy Bob Thornton was on Joe Rogan recently, and he had something to say about these actors talking about politics. And frankly, I agree with his sentiment here, mostly. Let's just hear from his own mouth. 29-second clip.
Unless you have really studied
Volume is low.
really know about a subject fully, who the hell would want to listen to an actor or a musician talk about politics?
I agree. You know, he said unless you know about the subject fully and deeply, who wants to hear a actor about political issues, you know, and I fully agree. That's just their act, shut up and act, essentially, you know.
I mean, a week ago, Jennifer Lawrence had that interview, and she talked about how she understands most people don't really care to hear the opinions of an actor or an actress anymore, especially political opinions. They just kind of want to watch them do their roles and act. She herself regrets the fact that she said anything terrible about Trump because nobody cares. None of what actors say actually, you know, changes the course of this country's like path in terms of politics. None of what they say. It's like what I said earlier. Kurt Russell again says most of us are just clowns. And yes, Jennifer Lawrence understands she's a clown now. Billy Bob Thornton, he absolutely understands he's a clown. Most of these actors, Sean Penn needs to understand he's a fucking clown. He is the entire circus. Most of these people need to understand that now.
They are becoming self-aware, finally. It's learning to think for itself, the actor hive mind. They realize they're not so important as they think they are in their own mind. So Olivia Rodrigo tells Trump administration not to use her music to promote deportations. So, as we know, the Department of Homeland Security has been posting some based meme edits on all of social media. And this singer or musician or whatever she is, I actually don't really know her too well, Olivia Rodrigo, is mad at the Trump administration and warned them not to use any of her music to promote their ramped up deportations of illegal immigrants. So basically, they posted this on Instagram. Let's check it out. If I can play it. I cannot play it. It's on Instagram. But nonetheless, it had her music in it on the advertising the CBB Home app, all of this stuff. Let's see. Here's her tweet. Here's her post on Instagram. Don't ever use my songs to promote your racist, hateful propaganda of just enforcing basic immigration law. That's what she's actually talking about. So just goes to show these actors are full of it. They're ignorant. They know nothing. And enforcing immigration law makes you racist and hateful, according to her. So
did somebody ask her, like, well, I guess you were okay when Obama put those kids in cages?
Yeah, who built the
Just
cages,
saying.
Brock? You know, who built the cages? Yeah. I didn't see her crying at the fence with AOC. I don't know.
Curious.
I have to give you a jump scare warning. We have a few more things till we have to end the stream.
Oh boy.
We have a mental illness problem in this country right now. Brace yourself.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Oh my. Oof. Okay.
So we don't have to watch the whole thing, but
Thank
this
you.
is what these people think of themselves.
I don't know if it's the ears or the way I'm dressed today or something about my disposition, but I like literally just had the third man in a row blush and react to me as if he'd underdressed for the day he was going to meet his future wife. It's been
okay. That's it. Enough. But
I'm dead.
Which one of you got? Thank you, Ronan, cleansing the stream with the word "thank you." But which one of you fellas was that blushed when you saw this lovely individual?
I mean, it certainly
wants to
wasn't
take-
me. Of course not.
It wasn't you, Ronan. Okay.
To each their own, I guess.
As long as he doesn't drive in my neighborhood, I'm fine with him being somewhere else.
I honestly do not know. When I look at stuff like that, half the time I'm thinking we probably are in the end times. Honestly, half the time I'm
Feels
thinking
like it.
Jesus is coming much closer and closer because everything's getting topsy-turvy. Good's becoming evil, evil's becoming good. Man
Woe to those
becomes
who call
woman.
evil good and good evil. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Just as the scripture says, it's horrifying. The kind of fine if you want to put it as mental illness, sure, but I could also see it as because just to go on a side tangent here, I do watch a little bit of Tim Pool, and I watch some of his culture war
Shame
stuff on
on
like
you.
Fridays.
No,
And he actually had a Catholic priest who's specifically focusing on exorcisms. Like that's what he does. His main line of work is doing exorcisms for the Vatican and for the church and everything. And they had the discussion about if there's like a rise in possessions, demonic presence or diabolical machinations, shall we say, right? And the way that he describes these possessions is that obviously in scripture and in a lot of these teachings, possessions only happen if the individual essentially allows the demon to come into their bodies. That's kind of what it feels like anytime I see a lot
They're
of these
welcoming
folks, is
demonic-
that they're welcoming
Yeah.
these
forces.
vices into their lives, which
Yep.
means they're allowing these demonic powers, essences, whatever you want to call them, into them to basically take hold of them or to just influence them. That's what it feels like.
You look at Legion, the demonic forces of Legion, they refer to themselves as they and them and many in the plural sense, not as I, but as us,
Right.
which is what these people with
The
multiple
Vatican may want to
personality
expand their departments a bit.
Well,
definitions of this.
I always say Unicron can't get here fast enough.
Bring it on. Bring it on. I welcome it. One more in the demonic category. In Georgia, police officer
God,
under
not
investigation after confronting and, quote, misgendering a man pretending to be a woman using the woman's bathroom at a public library. So, mind you, a public library. A lot of children use these facilities to study for school. And this sick pervert, man in drag, decided, I'm going to dress up and go in the women's bathroom. So let's just hear, and kudos to the officer who is incredibly based and protecting his community. He is a hero. I'm not going to full screen it because I don't hate you guys that much. So let's
the restroom, the women's restroom, like I have been for months, if not years. Never had any issues.
Sarah,
just totally nailing it on the woman voice, by the way. Totally.
Johnson is a regular at the
Fooled me.
Kofer Library. She says after she used the ladies' room on October 20th, a DeKalb police officer on hand for early voting confronted
Sure hope
her.
not so.
He says, "Excuse me, sir," so misgendering me right away. You're not a woman.
So the officer says to this freak, "Excuse me, sir," misgendering me right away. It's like the ego on these people. You must respect my pronoun.
That's obvious.
Swinson says she tried explaining to the officer that she's a transgender woman, but he got angry.
This is a police matter. There are women and little
Public
girls
safety
in
issues,
there,
yes,
and I
it
have
is.
to protect them.
She says it ended up causing a...
So the officer says there's women and children in here and I have to protect them. We don't need to hear more of it, but whoever that officer is, you deserve a raise. We commend you because you are protecting the community you were hired to protect and serve. Keeping freaks out of women's and girls' bathrooms. It's insane. It's insane.
Well,
what do
the
you
old-
guys think? You think that voice was convincing? What were you going to say, Cole?
Well, I was just going to say the old saying is the freaks come out at night, but looks like they come out during the day now.
Yeah.
They're getting,
They're
they're
real
getting a
bold.
lot more bold. Yeah, right.
Yeah. When they were in the closet, they only came out at night. Then they're out of the closet,
Yeah.
they come out during the day now. So maybe they should go
We're
back in the
getting
closet. But
daywalkers.
one more thing, do we have any, without doxing, do we have any Gen Xers in the chat or in the panel by any chance? I don't know, but
Right
this
here.
lady, alrighty, this woman is baffled and confused why any Gen Xers could be MAGA. So, what a disappointment, she says. She wants nothing to do with you. 58-second clip. Let's hear what this lovely lady has to say.
Can somebody explain to me what happened to my generation, Gen X? How did you turn out?
I
to
think
be
she's
MAGA.
on the older side of Gen X.
I truly am perplexed by this.
She's
What
so
a
perplexed
disappointment.
by it.
So, hey, I'm Gen X, and I'm the complete opposite of MAGA.
Oh, good for you. Thanks for making that statement so clear. She's like, I
She's
disavow.
probably child-free and then lonely as F.
You know what, Cornboy?
more than
I was
likely.
gonna say I got 100 thinking she has a black boyfriend.
More than likely, maybe
If
some
it's not
kids
that,
that
it's probably a dozen fur babies, as they like to call them.
Yep.
Fucking cats.
Yes, more than likely. So I don't know. She's disavowing Gen Xers who are MAGA, as she would
Her
say.
boomer
but,
parents did her no service.
Nope.
None whatsoever. None
But
whatsoever.
that's the end result of decades of the long march through the institutions. That's
Yeah.
essentially what the end result is, unfortunately. But I'm glad there's Gen Xers, millennials such as myself, and Zoomers such as babyface Isaac here, and hopefully Gen Alpha as well, that are actually completely rejecting a lot of this crap and are just saying, no, we've had enough of this shit. We're not going to be allowing ourselves to accepting this stuff, and especially in this country.
Some of Gen Alpha is looking to be pretty based,
Yes.
So we shall see.
Yeah,
guys.
as long as the people in charge of our side don't mess it up like they have been doing the last couple of months.
Yeah, let's maybe not push the 50-year mortgages, usury to the banks for indefinite times.
I mean, like, look, say what you will about Trump, and I imagine a lot of you guys here in the panel like him. I liked him a lot too. And then when like January 6th kind of happened, I felt like it was starting to move beyond that. I'm not saying I hate him. I'm not saying I don't like him. I like a lot of the things that he has been doing. I got to say, though, the $2,000 stimulus check that we are getting now recently, come on, man. If we do get it, like, come on, you're just kind of hurting.
But you make a good point, Ronan. They call us MAGA cultists. I've had my beliefs since before MAGA was a thing.
Right.
A lot of it based on that book you just held up, The Word of God.
Yes.
Yeah, you can be I voted for Trump. You can be a Trump voter, a Trump supporter, and still criticize the guy. I don't agree with him on everything, and that's okay.
Yep.
It's called being a free thinker. So
yeah, I look at myself because you guys can vote, that way. We're here. We crave for MAGA. We crave for a great conservative leader who believes in freedom, who believes in the Second Amendment. We just don't have that here. They are slowly taking our gun rights away here. And pew pew away here. So
exactly. No, they're taking your guns away. Because I know a lot of people I followed on social media, Canadians. I saw there was one guy I followed. They had Berettas and Glocks and some cool stuff. You didn't carry them, but it was much more restricted. But now the government's saying no, you got to send them back in. It's tyranny.
Canada had a gun culture that was almost similar to the United States, where they loved it as much as we did, and then as time went on and we reached the 21st
they needed
century,
it more back in the day too.
They did because it's a lot of is woodland territory, a lot of it's wild, especially the Yukon.
And now you have non-Canadians invading your country. But I agree with Wayfarer. Can we make Cole Hauser an American citizen? I'd love to see that. Great to get you down here.
Plenty
and make
of people would sponsor that.
Absolutely.
I'm working on it. Well, I do have a lot of family in the U.S. Fortunately, a lot of them are liberals, but what can you do?
Got to work with what you got. Still got to love family, But
right.
Well, at least because I can tell you a lot of my family who are in the U.S. military, they love Trump and they love what they're doing for him.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's made their lives better, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. But we are wrapping up here in the last minutes. So, guys, first week of the Golden Age podcast starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I think it's nice having an extra half hour instead of the crunch time, 60 minutes. We have 90 minutes from 7:30 to 9 to work things out, talk with the chat a little more, be less restricted. So glad we decided to do this. As always, Cornboy, thank you so much for joining us. We have your channel linked below and in the chat.
You got it, man. Thanks to the mods.
Tell people what you're going to be up to and where they can find you.
Depending on what Geeks and Gamers play Wednesday, I'll play whatever. But other than that, maybe some Battlefield 6 streams later on this week. Maybe some repo if we could get together. Who knows?
That would be fun. And guys, it's on sale on Steam right now. So if you want to check out some cool game streams, make sure you sub to Cornboy and Cole Hauser. I know you have a channel as well. We have your links below. And tell people what you're going to be up to and where they can find you.
So, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on X. On Friday, I think I'm going to do my first stream with Anjanette.
Awesome.
Very nice.
A test stream. So we're just going to try that out. Going to talk about some Transformers and some G.I. Joes and stuff, because that's what I want to be doing. So, and again, thanks for the invite. It's an honor to be with you guys and finally get to meet with Ronan, because I know we banter a lot on X with some of the fun memes.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't chat as much when we met up in MegaCon. I know you were mostly hanging out a lot with Jay, but meeting up here now and bantering, we definitely share a lot of common interests. So it'll be cool if I ever meet with you again in next year's MegaCon. It'll be fun.
I'll be there.
I hope to maybe see you guys too if we can work it out. And as always, Cole Hauser, it's an honor to have you on. Hope we can have you on again as soon as possible. That would be awesome. Ronan, first time showing your face on the channel.
Yes,
it's an honor to have you on the show again, man. You have some really good ways of explaining things. Tell people where they can find you, what you're doing. I know you just hit 100. Didn't you just hit 100 on YouTube?
Yes, I did. I actually hit 100 like about 3 weeks ago when I was doing one of my horror streams. It was a lot of fun. You can find me on my channel at Ronan the Crusader. You can also find me on X as well. Find me on Kick. I got my own link tree, just as Jake Martin is sharing it. I got several things you can find me on. This Wednesday, if anything, I'm trying to plan for another gaming stream, because that's mainly what I do. Is I do some gaming stuff most of the time. I don't talk politics as much, though I do enjoy it. Especially like talking politics here. It's a lot of fun.
And you have great breakdowns and opinions on things too. It's we appreciate getting your commentary, because like we said, the culture war stuff, gaming, having fun is important too. That's also kind of a good thing. And but when we can get everyone from across the internet, our side of the internet, it's great to get some people's beliefs on things, because we're not always gonna agree necessarily, and it's great to talk about. So guys, subscribe to these guys. I know Cole Hauser, you just hit 100 subscriers as well. So guys, go check out his channel, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being in the chat. We are going to send you over to ABF's channel right now. They're going to be having Off the Hip. You can find me after this stream right now on Nick's channel, The Plot Strikes Back. We're going to be reviewing Hacksaw Ridge live for Masculine Mondays. So I will be on Nick's channel. And as always, make sure you go click this link and go watch ABF's Off the Hip. So guys, leave a comment below when the stream is done. We appreciate it. Drop a like. Thank you for subscribing, and we will catch you next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for our new permanent time.